people, welcome back to the Baby Fathers podcast for another brand new episode. I'm your host today. I go by the name of DJ Ridler and I'm one of the members from the Baby Fathers. First things first, I want to big up to all you lot who has been supporting, been getting involved, and yeah man, we're feeling love down there at the moment. And also want to send a big shout out to the Baby Mothers podcast as well. They're doing their thing as well, so make sure you check out them as well, alright? Today I got a special guest with me. He goes by the name of Jude. How you doing, Jude?
Hi, nice to see you, man. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to say thank you for coming down. Yeah. What kind of made you reach out to the Baby Fathers podcast?
I just like what you guys are doing. I like what you guys represent. I like the fact, I know you and I were just talking off air a little while ago about, I like how you've got the Baby Fathers and you've got the Baby Mothers, so you can give different points of view and we use the word balance. So that's what I really like, and in particular this subject, baby fathers, and anything to do with fathers' rights and father parenting. It's a topic I'm very passionate about.
Wicked, man. Wicked. This kind of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of fast forward the situation. All right. Where did it start going wrong with you and the mother?
Oh man, where did it start going wrong? So pretty much very early on. As I said, I've got 2 children with this woman, but I remember when it was coming around to me having a second child, people were shocked that, oh, you're having a second child, and then they're like, the question they would ask me would be, with who?
Yeah.
And then when I told them my baby mother, they would be like, because
was there issues before?
Yeah, there was issues before. So you know, when we had our first one, she used to dictate if, when, how I could see my child, and she already had me feeling like I might need to take this woman to court, and many people advised me to do so. But that was always like a plan Z option for myself. And then we basically just kind of like hooked up like once or twice.
When she got pregnant with the second child, you lot wasn't together?
No, we wasn't together. No. So we literally just like hooked up after a long time, and then she got pregnant.
All right, so for them when she had the second child, obviously wasn't together. Yeah. How was the relationship after that?
Well, I remember with the second child beforehand, before she gave birth and stuff like that, or when she first found out that she was pregnant and stuff, I remember saying to her that, you know, we can use this as a opportunity to basically have a fresh start and rebuild. I've always been very keen on that family unit. I don't come from that environment myself. Okay. So from a young boy, if you know me, you would know that I've always yearned for that and always craved that situation. So many women have come in and out of my life, but I've purposely, well, I purposely tried to, I didn't want to just have kids with just anybody, basically. With my first child, you know, I was there at all of the antenatal classes, and, you know, I was very much involved at 100%, and I had stressed that I wanted to do the same thing with my second child, but she basically cut me out of all of the pregnancy, and even when it came to on the day of my daughter's birth, like I didn't know whether she was going to invite me, or she was suggesting beforehand that she wasn't going to let me be there, and all of that. So there was a whole bunch of palaver before my second daughter.
And did you get to go to the birth when she gave birth?
Yeah, I did. Her mum called me as they were on the way, or as they were at the hospital. And but then when I arrived at the hospital, my daughter hadn't been born, but she wouldn't let me come into the room. She only wanted her mum and her friend there. So
she stopped you from seeing your child being born?
Yeah. She stopped me from seeing my child before her mum and her friend. And
so once you done all of that, when did it start going real sour with the mother now?
it just started to get to a stage where I couldn't keep up with, the dictatorship is the word that I want to use, because it literally was a dictatorship, and there was, there was always one excuse or another excuse as to why all of a sudden I can't see my children.
What kind of excuse was she coming up with?
Just little things like, we did go through a rocky relationship, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was like, we used to break up all the time and all of that nonsense, and then eventually we were done. But then, since then, it's always been so sporadic in terms of when I can see my children. And if she's feeling any type of way, I can't see my children. If one of the children's sick, I can't see both children.
Okay.
And at one stage I didn't want any type of communication directly because it was just too much. And she would say things, and I would say things like, okay, I'll come and pick up my child, but my friend or my brother will come to the door.
Yeah.
And pick them up, and then she would say things like, no, if you can't come to the door and get them, then you can't see your children, and things like that. If you can't call me, you can't see your children.
So you didn't ever think about going to court?
As I said, that was a Plan Z option for myself, because I've already heard so many negative things about the court process. It's happened in my family before. My uncle's a good example where that's had to go through that situation, and so I was always like, that was always like a Plan Z option. But as I said, then it reached a point where I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I then made an application to the court.
Well done.
And I just made an application to get a child arrangements order.
Okay. And then once you done that, how quick was that done?
Oh, that court process. So the court process in itself is a very interesting journey, is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It does take a lot out of you, in terms of energy wise, and the reason why I went to court in the first place was because in my mind, I thought if you go to court, you get this court order that is legally binding, and therefore she can't now dictate when you can see your child. That's what I thought. That was the impression that I was under. However, after the court process, how that panned out and how things are today, it's proved to me that child arrangements order, or you go into court to get an order to see your children, it's a piece of paper. It's not legally binding.
Okay.
It's not legally binding. They say it's legally binding, but it's not legally binding.
So what experience have you had of that for you to say something like that?
The reason why I say the court order is just a paper is because since then she's been, up and down in terms of letting me see my children. Currently, right now, it's been over a year since I've been able to see or speak to my children.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, nobody bats an eyelid. The police are aware that she hasn't let me see my children. The courts are aware that she hasn't let me see my children. Social services are aware that she hasn't let me see my children. But nobody says anything. This is despite me having a court order to say.
So have you had any contact with the police when she's obviously stopped you from...
I don't know the actual facts or the actual stats, should we say, in terms of how many women use this formula. But what I'm about to say right now, this formula is very popular and very common within a family court proceedings.
Okay.
And I might I'll tell you why. I don't like to really say these things because I don't like to educate.
Yeah, but it's what you've gone through.
Yeah. I don't want this to be a form of education and be like, okay, well, now we're going to get tips to F over your baby father. But the truth of the matter is, when you go to family court and you actually take somebody to court for arranging children, etc., there's one loophole in the system where you can get free legal aid. Yeah. And I'm sure 98% of women, they use this card. Okay. The card is, they will claim to be a victim of domestic violence. They would have the baby father arrested and try, like, on numerous occasions, and try and say something like, "Oh, he's assaulted me," or little petty things like this. And so to answer your question, what dealings have I had with the police?
Yeah.
The police have arrested me because she's claimed that I've assaulted her when I absolutely didn't, and there was no evidence to suggest otherwise. But she picks up the phone, says that I've assaulted them. The police don't ask no questions. They come to my house and arrest me. That's it.
So when they arrested you, they were arresting you under suspicion of...
Well, the first time she got me arrested, that story basically went like this. We was due to go to, originally I was meant to go to LA. I'm gonna be honest. I was meant to go to LA, right? I was meant to go and see one girl. At the time, me and my baby mother wasn't together, and I'm a single guy, right? Yeah. So I originally was meant to go out to LA and see one girl that I knew that lived out there.
Did you know her before, or was it before or online?
No, it was like, I knew her before.
Okay.
I knew her before, yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so I've known her, yeah. And, but she lives in LA. So, closer to the time of the trip, my baby mother and I, at the time, we've got one child, yeah. So me and her get into an argument because, like, she's just acting mad off. And I'm like, we're meant to be going LA tomorrow. I don't get it. She weren't telling me why. She was just acting mad off. I was like, what's going on? We get into it now. I now say to her, all right, I'm going to LA tomorrow. That's it. I'm going by myself. Now, I don't want all of this drama. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I said, I'm going by myself. She says the words, if you go to LA, by the time you come back, me and your daughter are gone and you won't see us again. We'll be in Ghana. She's originally from Ghana. Let me give a background story. This is important. She's originally from Ghana. Her family, she was born in Ghana. She came to the UK when she was like 20 years old. Okay. So she's Ghanaian. She's half Ghanaian, half Italian.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what she said to me. I'm now at this stage. I start looking for my daughter's passport. I said, you ain't taking my daughter to Ghana.
Yeah.
I'm going to LA, but you ain't taking my daughter to Ghana. I know if I go to LA and I take my daughter's passport, she can't do that, right? So she's now at this stage, left the apartment, gone downstairs to the concierge, and she's told the concierge that I've assaulted her. I've come down to the concierge, and she's saying, yeah, he's assaulted me. And the concierge is now phoning the police. So I said, I haven't assaulted you. I have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I have stayed in the apartment. I know the police is coming, and I start looking for the passport. To cut a long story short, that one incident, because of that one, so they've taken me to police station, kept me there overnight, kept me there for like 20-something hours. In the end, with a domestic case, I think 90% of the time or 100% of the time, I can't remember, but like, they charge you. They charge the guy because they want it to go to court. Yeah. They want those issues to go to court. By the time it got to the court, me and her already... But she didn't come to the court. So when I was due to be in court, I was in court for like 1 minute. They're saying, well, no further action. The witness isn't here. The witness doesn't want to press charges with it. No further action. Okay. But because of that one time, she was then able to, by the time we then do go to court, she's now able to claim she's a victim of domestic violence. And that's with my baby mother in particular, it's always been from the jump. It's always been about power. It's always been about control and power. I used to think that my baby mother used to stop me from seeing my children to get at me and hurt me. And I somewhat do still feel that way a little bit, but I see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that it's all about control and order and power. And by her not allowing me to see or speak to my children, she has 100% control and power. Yeah. But what I've realized along the way, you can't be mad at your baby mother. You can't be mad at your baby mother for operating like that. You got to be mad at the system, and you got to be mad at society for allowing these women to be able to operate like that. Quite frankly, and that's basically
So you're not mad with her, you're mad at the system.
Oh, I'm mad at the system. I used to be mad at her. I'm not mad at her no more. Like, as I said, look, I've been going through this from the beginning of time. My oldest child is about to be 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know. And speaking of that, I've sent her solicitor email today asking if I could see my children. And that is my daughter's birthday tomorrow, and they've come back and shut that down. Like, and it's just like,
so she told the solicitor, she doesn't want you to come to her to see her child.
I can't see my children.
And was the last time you seen the child? Over a year ago?
Yeah, over a year ago. Now,
has the mum made any allegations against you about child abduction?
Yeah, so child abduction, that's an interesting one. So she has claimed before that I've abducted the children. And how she did that was basically one time she wasn't allowing me to see my children. I've been calling her. She's just not letting me see my children. I can't even remember. It's happened so many times. I can't even remember the actual reason why. Even like from the last time of me seeing my children, I can't remember what triggered, what happened to trigger, because it's happened so much. But anyways, so on this particular time, this is a month after she got me arrested another time, right? And she got me arrested because on the court order, it states that I can't be in possession of my daughter's passports for more than 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I had basically breached the court order, technically, because I had my daughter's passport, and she claims that I stole my daughter's passport. And the police came to my house and arrested me. Yeah. And then they kept me there 19 hours and said, no further action. Mr. Cruikshank is the rightful parent.
Yeah.
A month after that, I've called the police and I said, she's not letting me see my children. This was in 2018 or 2019, sorry. A month after that, I've called the police and I said, she's not letting me see my children.
Yeah.
And you've just arrested me a month before for breaking this court order. So, okay, she's breaching the same court order. They tell me, oh, no, you got to take the matter back to court. I booked a meeting with the head of, like, my borough, the police within my borough. I've gone to the station. I brought all of the court orders, my paperwork, everything like this. I've explained to him the situation, said that how she's breaching this court order. He's now said to me he's going to speak to his superintendent. But by the time I've left there and got to my house, he's called me and said, sorry, Mr. Cruikshank, there's nothing we can do. You know, I know what you're going to say. We did arrest you technically a month before for breaking this same court order, but there's nothing we could do. We suggest you take the matter back to court. That is the line that they like to throw out there. Yeah. Take the matter back to court. Whereas when she picks up the phone and calls these same police, they don't say to her, they've never once said to her, take the matter back to court. They operate instantly.
So you phone the police and say to them, and then that's what he came back and said.
Yeah. So and he said, and I booked a meeting and he said that to me. So I've now said to him, okay, if she's not letting me see my children and you are telling me to take the matter back to court, like even though I have a court order and you're not enforcing this court order, okay, so what happens now if I go to my daughter's nursery tomorrow and I take my children from the nursery because I want to see them, I want to spend some time with them, she's not letting me, what happens if I do that? He says to me, there's nothing we can do because you're on your birth certificate, you have parental responsibility, there's nothing we could do. I said to him, okay, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the nursery, take my daughters from the nursery, and then I'm going to spend some time with them, take them back to the nursery the next day. I said, she's going to phone the police. If I do that, she's going to phone the police. And then the police are going to, I'm just letting. He said, there's nothing we could do. The next day comes, I do that exact same thing. I take my daughters from the nursery. By the time I get to my house, she's phoned the police. She's phoned the police. And the police have come to my house. They banging on my door. I went upstairs to the top room of my window. I've opened up the window, said, how may I help you? They said, they need to see my children, see if my children's okay. I've lifted my children to the window, said, are you okay? Are you okay? They both said, yep. I said, we're fine. As you can see, we'll be at the nursery tomorrow. But from then, she was able to go to court and get a restraining order and an order to basically prevent me from being able to take my daughters from her care or any care that they're in.
So you can't pick them up from nursery no more unless the nursery gives the nursery permission.
No. Well, I don't know if she gives permission, but like it states that she's got an order that states that I can't.
But how does she get this order? She goes to court.
Yeah.
Do you have to go to court for that order to get in place?
Now this is where looking back on it, I'm gonna put my hands up, and I'm gonna say, I shot myself in the foot looking back on it, yeah, because from the first time I did that court process, I said, nah, never again. Never again am I being part of this organization. Because I realized from the jump, it's a biased organization. It's a profitable organization. And most importantly, it's an organization that don't give a F about my children at all. Or me having a relationship with my children. That is not their agenda. They don't give a damn about that. Like to the courts, I am just another revenue stream. My children is just another case number. Yeah. You know, so it's like...
So when she went to court to put that in motion, you didn't turn up?
No, I didn't turn up. And that's where I said that I shot myself in the foot. Yeah. So I didn't turn up. She's able to say whatever she needs to say, and they give her an order. And in the post, they send me the order. I'm like, oh, all right. You know, that's how that story played out. Because she knew from the first time, I vowed to myself, I'm never stepping foot in the family court room again.
So how did they, for you to feel like that, how did they do that? Because how they treated you on the first time?
Yeah.
You thought it wasn't working for you?
Yeah. Let me give you an example of why I say it's a biased organization. First of all, I already told you about how that loophole for you to get free legal aid. So all of our legal fees was paid for, solicitor, barrister, you know, those things don't come cheap, when I was paying for it, but so you're able to get that. Now, domestic violence, if you're a victim of domestic violence, how many men are a victim of domestic violence, you know? But, you know, it does happen, but even that is hard to, you know...
You think that's just a card?
It's a card basically indirectly saying, women, we got you. Men, it's there for you, but this ain't really for you, you know? So that was that. I remember one time in the courtroom, at one stage I was representing myself, right? Because I was like, these fees are ridiculous. And one barrister in particular is just like, I'm paying you, can't remember how much I'm paying you, but I'm paying you heaps of money for you to do what? You wasn't even doing anything for me in the courtroom.
You could have done it yourself.
Yeah, like what was you doing in that courtroom? I'm just like, what is this guy? I'm paying this guy. But anyways, one time I prepared a court bundle. Now, if you know what a court bundle looks like, it's thick like this, and it needs to be a certain way, and statements and and it's like particular, it needs to be a certain way. I was getting advice from somebody I knew who was a solicitor or whatever was helping me, right? But I've prepared my statement and everything like this to the court. I've asked the judge, Your Honor, have you read my statement, my court bundle? He said, no. And he's saying this to my face in the courtroom. He's saying this to me, my face. No. In the same breath, I'm saying to him, Your Honor, have you read her statement? He's telling me yes, straight to my face, casually. So I'm thinking to myself, but aren't you supposed to be
on both sides?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be biased. You're supposed to be supposed to be. It's supposed to be a balance. So how can you read her statement and everything that she has to say, but just don't read mine? But on top of that, say it with your chest to my face, straight up like this. No.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. When you now represent yourself, these judges feel like they can do whatever. Yeah. You know.
He didn't take you seriously.
He didn't take me seriously because, you know, and speaking of the court system, this is what they see, right? I think a lot of times they prejudge people, and I think they may look on paper and just be like, oh, and just put them in a particular box and then treat them as such. And yeah, that's basically what happened with me.
So where are you now then with at what stage are you now with the kids? Are you seeing them yet or are you still not seeing them?
No, I'm not seeing them. So as I was saying, I vowed that I'm never part of the court system. I'm now, my mind has now changed. I'm now at a stage where I'm like, I'm I'm longing to go to court.
Yeah.
I'm counting down the days till I'm back in court.
Yeah.
Because probably in March, it was coming up to a year since I've seen or spoken to my children. I was feeling a certain type of way. I was tempted, and the key word is tempted, to message her and be like, you've had these children for 12 months.
It's more the sorry to say it text. You just want to put it to bed and see that.
Like, you've had them for the last 12 months. Like, is there something I could do? Like, in my mind, I was prepared to say to her, how much money do you want? And obviously, if it's a reasonable amount and I can afford it, I was gonna pay her.
So how much was you winning? How much was you winning?
If she said a number, and
are we talking a few bags?
I don't want to put my business out there, but okay. I'm just saying, if she said a number and
so you was willing to pay, I was willing to pay to see your kids.
Yes, I was willing. Now, as I said, I was tempted to do that. I've gone onto her Instagram. I've realized that her Instagram is she's unblocked me, and not only has she unblocked me, it's now open. I've clicked on the Instagram. I'm seeing pictures of her in Ghana, and I'm like, I'm reading the comments as well, and they're saying, oh yeah, it's so dope in Ghana, you need to come here. Yeah, can't wait until we see you out here. And all of the comments were suggesting that she's in Ghana. So I'm like, wow. I find out that she's in Ghana, basically.
Yeah.
I find out that she's been there for several months. Yeah.
With your kids?
With my kids.
So do you put anything in place?
No, so this is now where I'm like, okay. I go to, first I go to social services. I send them a message. Send them a message alerting social services. Didn't hear anything back, right? Didn't hear anything back. Only until yesterday. Yesterday, in fact, right? And, well, anyways, to cut a long story short, didn't hear anything back. I managed to book a appointment with the head of social services. They, yesterday, have said to me, and they're sending me a letter stating this, that they apologize for failing me.
Okay.
And they apologize. They realize they've got this situation wrong because the woman admitted if this was the other way around, they wouldn't have acted like. Of
course.
She admitted it to me. But anyways, we can't talk about that. But after social services, I've gone into the police station. I've gone into Lewisham police station, right? And this particular station, I don't know what type of issue they have with me, but they have an issue. Like, the way they treat me is despicable. Yeah, I've gone into Lewisham police station. I've told them the situation. They brushed me out of there so quick. They're like, "Oh, she's in Ghana. Ghana? There's nothing we can do about it, mate. No, she's in Ghana. No." And they brushed me out of there. I've walked out of there. It's only until when I started talking about it online and on my social media, people are saying to me, no, and people are telling me the law and showing me the law. And I'm like, okay. I've gone back to that same police station after however long. I've gone back to the same police station. I brought all of my paperwork now. I'm speaking to some senior person within the station, right? Sergeant or whoever. I'm showing him I'm explaining to him my children being abducted. He is telling me, and I've got this on recording, right? He is telling me no parent can abduct their own children. No parent can kidnap their own children. I've then gone onto Google. I've typed in definition of abduction, child abduction. And the definition, I know it off by heart. I can quote it. The definition of child abduction is if you take a child under the age of 16 out of the country for a period of more than 28 days without the consent of the other parent is child abduction. So I've showed it to him like this. He's now said, didn't real, we can't keep up with all of the laws, so the police officers don't know all of the laws. And I'm like, but at this point now he's taking this matter serious and they've reported it. With that story, the police too have been failing me. I'm going to get onto the police anyway. The police, I'm going to file a serious complaint about the police. But the fact is, this woman abducted my children. I reported this more than 2 months ago. Yeah, the police haven't done anything only until last week. Yeah. So it's more than like near enough 2 months. So your kids are still in another country? No. So they've come back. They came back, right? So they've come back and nothing has happened. The police, they finally interviewed her now, but they haven't arrested her. But the fact is, if I had done the same thing, the day I had arrived, they would have arrested me because they've arrested me previously for petty shit. You know? Sorry, I don't know if we can swear. But yeah, they've arrested me for 4 petty things. So, so now where is that? So she's come back to the country, and she's come back, and since she's come back, she's now filed to the courts a C1 application to basically permanently remove my children from the UK and to relocate to Ghana. So that's where we're at right now.
So if you turn around and say no, can that then be stopped for her not to be able to do that?
Well, you know, the truth is, she abducted my children. That is a current pending investigation. They're dragging their heels about it, being very blasé, but a crime has been committed nonetheless. Right? And I just want to be put on a fair playing field. If you're going to be arresting me for all of this stuff, and she does something, then...
Would you let your kids go there? Do you want your kids to go there?
To live in Ghana? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So what are you going to then do?
So now this is where I'm at now. So whereas before my mindset was like, I'm never going to go back into court again, and she was trying to play this court game, and I'm like, I'm not playing it because what's the point? Because I get a court order and you don't stick to it. They want me, you know, it doesn't mean anything. So it's like.
So are you now taking her to court?
So no, she's filed that application, but I'm coming to court, and I will be countering. And obviously, giving my reasons as to why I don't approve.
So, are you going to get a solicitor, or are you going to represent yourself?
It's that's like I told you a minute ago before when I said.
But this is a serious thing now.
Yeah.
If it's not a solicitor, it's a barrister, because you said they didn't take you seriously before. So you now want them to take you seriously if you don't want your child to get taken to another country.
That's the thing. That's where I'm at right now. So even with the court system, even when I can't really go into too much of it because I don't want to give my what's going on. But like with the court system, for you to even make an application to the court, like get the application form I'm talking about, you have to make a payment even for that.
Of course, before to get in motion.
Yeah, it's a couple £100.
Yeah,
couple £100 for an application form. Then you got to fill out. That's just it.
Yeah.
Then when you get into the court process, if your solicitor's sending you an email, that's going to cost you. If your solicitor calls you, that's going to cost you. If you have a barrister or a solicitor and then a barrister, that's all going to cost you. But
I think that's why some fathers don't want to do it. But there's some fathers who say, do you know what? If I can go and buy myself other things. It's just like yourself. If you're going to pay them my money to see your child, you can take that money and go and flip it and say, do you know what? I'm going to use it to go and get my kids. And I think that's just where it is. This whole thing is a money thing. We know this.
It's a business.
But at the same time, if you want to see your child, you understand?
I'm still on the fence with that because
I don't agree with it, but it is what it is.
This is what I'm trying to say. I'm still on the fence because one, I feel like to give your money to an organization that is biased, it don't care about your children, and just overall is gonna likely to favor the woman. It's a hard task in itself.
Yeah,
to give your money to an organization, knowing those points there, right? But like we said, no. In fact, there are guys out there. There are guys out there. You don't have to always pay. You don't always have to pay.
There's ways around it.
There are ways around it. There are ways around it, and there's organizations that can help assist you. And if you feel like you can articulate what you need to say and you get the advice, then you can also represent yourself. At certain times, I was representing myself. With this case in particular, this is like the last nail on the coffin.
Yeah.
This is like the final hoorah. So for me, I'm 100% on board. I'm
got the full energy.
Full energy. When I first spoke about it online and I told people on my Instagram, this is what she's doing. She's now trying to get permission from the courts to be able to take them from the country and live abroad, live in Ghana. And even on that application form, application form, this is what I was struggling to understand. On that same application form, She's able to say to the courts, I want to relocate my children and I want to relocate them to Ghana. She, in all of that paperwork, there's not one bit of information there that says dad can see the children here, dad can speak to the children this time, dad can dad will be updated with this. There's not 1 ounce of that. What there is, though, there's 3 questions, bullet points, and it says, do you approve of the respondent to have supervised visits? She's ticked no. Do you approve of the respondent to have unsupervised visits? She's ticked no. And lastly, the one is, do you approve of father to have any form of contact, i.e. telephone, social media, text, email? And she's ticked no. So I'm like, rah, how is it that she can casually put this on the form? It's listed.
Too calm.
Yeah, and there's no repercussions for that. You know, at this precise moment, this woman thinks that she is untouchable, and like I said, the system has empowered her to feel like that, and I don't blame her for thinking that way. But she did abduct my children, and the fact of the matter is, like I said, when I first said about it, I said, all right, I'm not gonna, like, the courts are gonna let her go. You know, I was like, it's inevitable, the courts are gonna let her go. I'm gonna try and make it difficult and try to stop them from doing that, but ultimately they're gonna let them go. Now my mindset is like, no, we're gonna win this.
We need to wrap it up. What would you like to say? What would you like to say to the people out there who's hearing your story? What advice can you give?
My advice is this, guys. I don't even know what to say. Like, my advice is like, guys. With me in particular, a lot of people have applauded me or, you know, encouraged me. And recently, a lot of people have reached out to me and said, you know, I'm going through the same thing and this, that. My advice is, we all need to do better for our children, not my children, not just my children, not his children, not her children. Everyone's children is our future. And if we are we're setting them up to fail, then what are we talking about? How is our future gonna look when we're old and grey? So my advice is, like, we really need to, this is a subject matter that isn't spoken about enough. There isn't many things that's done, and my advice is we need to be active, and we need to talk about these things. We need to highlight these things. If you know someone that's going through this or whatever, you need to tell them to be active and be talking about these things and discussing these things. So everything that I do, every time I'm publicizing my stuff with my kids, it's not something that I want to do, but I'm highlighting it because I want people to kind of learn, like, this isn't the way, because ultimately we're setting our children up to fail. So
I think that was some wise words and some good advice there, bro. Once again, I want to say thank you for coming down, man, and sharing your story. I know we didn't have long. I know you got so much on your chest to still get off.
There's so many things, man, but you know, we can't cover it.
Exactly. So I'm gonna say thank once again. Give them your social network and when they can catch you on.
Yeah, so you can catch me on Jude Cruikshank on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook.
Okay. So that's old school people.
Old school,
So listen, people, I want to say thank you for watching the Baby Fathers podcast. Make sure anything you heard today, I want to hear your lot's views. Drop them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like, and push that notification button, all right? We are the Baby Fathers, and we are out. Peace.